If you are an executive at a large organization, you likely view remote work one of two ways. Perhaps your experience has been positive and you think, remote work is great. It enhances productivity, improves employee experience, and helps us retain key talent. Or, if you are like Elon Musk, you might say, remote work is a nightmare. Everybody back to the office right now. But in the long term, how we feel about remote work does not matter. Because while we might associate remote work with the recent pandemic, this presentation will explain why it's actually more relevant today and will continue to impact organizations' talent strategy, profitability, and viability long into the future. So, why is remote work critical for talent strategy? In the short term, we're facing a global talent shortage. Workers are enjoying a strong bargaining position, and 90% of them want to work remotely, at least some of the time. And while companies like Google are in a position to say, "No, sorry workers, you all have to come to the office," most employers are not Google. For everyone else, organizations who offer flexible remote work arrangements have filled positions over twice as quickly as those who do not. Looking beyond the current labor shortages, it is true that labor markets will likely balance out eventually, and automation and artificial intelligence will reduce the overall need for workers. However, competition for the most skilled and productive workers will certainly intensify. You see, decades ago, the sociologist Derek Price found 50% of value is generated by the square root of your workforce. Put another way, if you have 25 salespeople, 5 of them will generate half your sales. And if there are 300,000 chemical engineers in the world, 500 or 600 will produce half of the important breakthroughs. So, not all workers are equally valuable to an organization. And, according to McKinsey, 74% of these highly skilled workers prefer fully remote positions, placing organizations who can offer remote work at an advantage. That is why remote work will continue to matter for talent strategy. Next, let's discuss profitability and organizational viability. Part of the appeal of remote work is that it can reduce expenses for rent, insurance, commuting, and everything else associated with maintaining a physical workplace, which comes out to tens of thousands per employee annually. And while cost-cutting on its own does not drive growth, these savings from remote work can be reinvested in higher salaries, research and development, marketing, and other strategic priorities. So, unless you're a bank or a landlord with an interest in commercial real estate, remote work is an easy financial decision to make. Now, some organizations might say, what about productivity? What about our culture? Haven't there been studies saying remote work is bad for those? And the answer is, it depends. True remote and hybrid work, done poorly, can negatively impact productivity and culture. Other studies from before, during, or after the pandemic show that when an organization manages remote work intelligently, they can enhance performance, morale, retention, and many other things. So, this is not a case of either or. Organizations need to be productive and build strong cultures and find ways to manage a remote workforce effectively so they can enjoy the benefits of talent, profitability, and operational excellence. So, what next? Today we are witnessing a growing gap between virtually competent organizations who embrace and invest in remote work and virtually challenged organizations who struggle with remote work or seek to curtail it. And as the trends we discussed continue, virtually competent organizations will have an advantage in most every regard. As for how an organization can develop virtual competence, that's a very large topic for another day. For now, if your organization has been rethinking its remote work policies, hopefully this video provided some useful food for thought. And if you are interested in additional resources and support for remote work, please visit www.virtualwork.coach. That's www.virtualwork.coach.